Listen to me. I need you to hear this with your heart, not just your ears. There was a time in my life when I couldn't sleep. Not because I was working hard, not because I was grinding, but because I was terrified. Terrified of failure, terrified of being average, terrified of waking up one more day and knowing I wasn't living the life I was built for. I would lie in bed, wide open, and feel the weight of unrealized potential pressing on my chest like a mountain. And the crazy part, I knew the problem wasn't the world. The problem was me. I wasn't tired because I had worked all day. I was tired because I had spent the day running from my dreams. So when people tell me I want success, I ask them one thing: what keeps you awake at night? Because until your dream becomes the reason you can't fall asleep, it will never become the reason you wake up in beast mode. See, some of you fall asleep too easy, not because you're at peace, but because you haven't demanded enough of yourself. You haven't pushed yourself to the point where your mind is racing with hunger. You haven't reached that level where your dream is so loud it shakes you. When a vision gets inside you deep enough, sleep becomes a privilege, not a habit. And if you haven't reached that stage yet, don't worry. This speech is the turning point. This is the moment where you stop treating your dreams like something optional and start treating them like oxygen. The truth is, the world does not reward the comfortable. It never has. Every person who has ever risen from nothing to greatness walked through nights of restlessness. They walked through seasons where sleep was the enemy because comfort was the enemy. And I want you to understand this. Not because I want you to destroy your body, not because I want you to lose your health, but because I want you to wake up to the reality that greatness requires can't be casual about a dream that demands your everything. You can't sleep peacefully when there's a version of you that still hasn't been born. There was a boy who told me once, "Sir, I think my life will change soon." I said, "Think? Son, the problem is you keep thinking, you keep hoping, you keep wishing, but you're not deciding." Change doesn't visit people who wait. Change visits people who chase. There's a difference between wanting something and being willing to bleed for it. And until you understand that difference, you will continue to fall asleep on your purpose while your future self waits, impatient and disappointed. Let me talk to the version of you that nobody else sees. The one that knows you are made for more. The one that whispers to you when the room is dark, when your phone is silent, when for a split second you realize that you can't keep living like this. That version of you has been begging for a chance. But every day you give your energy to distractions. Every day you numb yourself with excuses. Every day you fall asleep, not because you're exhausted from effort, but because you're exhausted from running from your own potential. Today, I want you to stop running. I want you to stop lying to yourself about who you are and start telling the truth about who you want to become. Because it's not too late. It's never too late. I don't care if you wasted years. I don't care if you failed 100 times. I don't care if you feel broken right now. Broken things can still shine. Broken things can still fly. Broken things can still rebuild into something so powerful that the world will ask, where did this person come from? You came from the struggle. You came from the nights you couldn't sleep. You came from the moments nobody saw. You came from the pain they underestimated. And every single part of your journey was preparation. You ever been so hungry that you could feel it in your chest? Dream hunger is different. Dream hunger is fire. It burns slow at first, but once it ignites, there's nothing in the world that can stop it. But here's the catch. It only ignites when you stop settling, when you stop compromising, when you stop surrendering to the easy path, when you stop sleeping through your purpose. Wake up to your power. Wake up to your power. Wake up to your assignment. Wake up to your identity. Wake up to the possibility that the best version of you is still waiting for you to show up. You keep asking for motivation, but motivation only shows up when you move. Motivation is not a spark. It's a reward. You don't get motivated first. You show up broken, tired, unsure, scared, and then the motivation comes to those who act, not those who wait. I remember the night everything changed for me. I remember lying down, trying to fall asleep, but my heart beating too loud to ignore. It was like my future self was screaming at me, "Get up, you're wasting time, you're wasting years, you're wasting gear." Wasting needed to stop dreaming and stop dreaming and start deciding. And I got out of bed at 3 a.m. and I made myself a promise. A promise that I would never again fall asleep on my greatness. And that promise changed everything. But your promise hasn't been made yet. Not fully, not deeply, not in a way that makes your bones shake. But by the time this speech ends, you're going to make one. Not to me, not to your family, not to your friends, but to yourself. Look at your life. Look at the choices you made. Look at the patterns you repeat. And tell me, are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Be honest with yourself. Are you waking up with purpose, or are you waking up with dread? Are you building something, or are you scrolling through your days wishing you were? You cannot continue living like your dreams will grow by themselves. You cannot continue living like opportunities will knock for. You cannot continue living like tomorrow is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised, but your effort is. The reason people don't achieve their dreams is simple. They underestimate the amount of sacrifice required. They want the finish line, but not the footsteps. They want the reward, but not the repetition. They want the victory, but not the violence it takes to win the war against their weaker self. The battle is not outside, it's inside. The greatest fight of your life will always be between the version of you that wants comfort and the version of you that wants greatness. Every day you decide which one wins. Some of you keep losing because you're fighting like your dream is optional. You're fighting like your dream is a hobby. You're fighting like your dream is something you can pick up when you feel like it. But dreams don't work like that. Dreams require obsession. Dreams require discipline. Dreams require sacrifice. Dreams require you to say a no to things everyone else says yes or to. Dreams require uncomfortable mornings, lonely nights, and seasons where you plant seeds even though the ground looks dead. And you must have faith. Faith that the seed you plant today will become the tree that feeds your future. Faith is not belief. Faith is work. Faith is sweat. Faith is waking up early when no one checks on you. Faith is staying up late when everyone else is sleeping. Faith is giving everything when nothing seems to be happening. Faith is trusting the process even when you can't see progress. You plant, you water, you wait, you trust, you grow. And one day, if you stay consistent, a harvest comes. But you can't harvest if you keep sleeping through the season you're supposed to be planting in. Some of you keep asking for blessings you are not prepared for. You want the stage, but you won't do the rehearsal. You want the results, but you won't master the routine. You want to win big, but you won't win small first. The universe does not reward intention, it rewards execution. You have potential, but potential means nothing if you bury it under laziness and fear. Potential doesn't impress me. Potential doesn't impress the world, only results do. What impresses me is the person who gets up every single day and works with humility. The person who stays disciplined when nobody watches. The person who keeps moving forward even when the road is silent and cold. The person who refuses to quit even when quitting seems like the easiest option. That's who you must become. And listen, this journey is not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. If it were easy, everybody would be great. But that's what makes your dream special, because it's hard, because it requires sacrifice, because it demands a version of you that you haven't even met yet. Don't avoid the hard. Run toward it, embrace it, master it. I need you to start living with urgency, not panic, not fear. Urgency that comes from understanding that you don't have time, from understanding that you don't have time to waste. The kind that comes from realizing your life is not a rehearsal. This is the only shot you get. And if you throw it away because you are too tired, too distracted, too lazy, too comfortable, then you will live the rest of your life wondering what you could have become. That's a pain you don't want. Regret is heavier than effort. Regret is heavier than discipline. Regret is heavier than sacrifice. Regret destroys people from the inside out. And the sad thing is, regret only shows up when it's too late to fix things. But right now, it's not too late for you. You're breathing, you're alive. You're here, you're reading this. That means you still have time. That means you still have a chance. That means your story is not finished, but time is only valuable when you use it. So here's what I want you to do. After this speech ends, I want you to make a decision, not a wish, not a dream. A decision that you will no longer live below your potential. A decision that you will no longer negotiate with your excuses. A decision that you will fight for the life you want. Even if it breaks you, even if it scares you, even if it demands every last drop of your effort. Because that is the price of greatness. And when you finally start giving that level of effort, something magical happens. You start to attract opportunities. You start to grow confidence. You start to see results. You start to gain momentum. You start to wake up with purpose instead of anxiety. You start to realize that the world is not against you. It's waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to commit, waiting for you to unleash the greatness inside you. And when that moment comes, something else changes. For the first time in your life, you will fall asleep peacefully. Not the sleep of avoidance, but the sleep of accomplishment, the sleep of someone who gave everything, the sleep of someone who didn't waste their day, the sleep of someone who fought for their dream and earned their rest. That is the kind of sleep success gives you. You don't fall asleep because you're tired of running from your life. You fall asleep because you work for your life. You fall asleep because you planted seeds. You fall asleep because you stayed disciplined. You fall asleep because you became the person you were always meant to be. That is the transformation waiting for you on the other side of your excuses. So wake up. Wake up for real this time. Wake up and refuse to be average. Wake up and chase the version of you that keeps calling your name. Wake up and take responsibility for your future. Wake up and realize that nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself, but you can. You absolutely can. Because greatness is not for the chosen. It's for the committed. It's for the consistent. It's for the hungry. It's for the people who are willing to stay awake through the struggle so they can rest in victory. Fall asleep when the work is done, not when the dream is dying. This is your moment. Claim it, chase it, fight for it. And don't stop until the world knows your name. You ever notice how people talk about their dreams like they talk about the weather? I hope it works out. And maybe someday, let's see what happens. They speak about the most important thing in their life with the same energy they use to describe a cloudy sky. It's the mindset that kills greatness. That a maybe spirit, that a someday voice, that a opal weakness. Hope is not a strategy. Waiting is not a plan. Wishes don't build empires. What builds empires is the moment you stop treating your dream like it's a guest in your life and start treating it like it's the landlord. Your dream should own your mornings, your afternoons, your nights. It should collect rent from your excuses. It should demand your best, and you should show up every day with the payment in full. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The dream you want comes with a version of you that you've never met. And before you meet that version, life will test you. Life will put you through seasons where you question everything. Seasons where you wake up and feel like you're walking through fog. Seasons where the world feels heavy and your spirit feels tired. Seasons where you can't tell if you're getting closer or if you're just going in circles. But listen to me, those seasons are not punishments, they are preparation. They are sharpening you, breaking you, molding you, because the version of you that will hold the blessing is stronger than the one who started the journey. You want to know why people quit? It's not because they're weak. It's because they expected progress to come quicker than pain. They thought the reward would come before the test. They believed the path would be smooth just because their intentions were pure. But life doesn't work that way. Life gives you the test first. The lesson comes after. And those who survive the test, those who stay when it hurts, who rise when they fail, who crawl when they can't walk, those are the ones who earn the right to hold the dream. Some of you are being tested right now. You're in a season where nothing makes sense, a season where you feel stuck, a season where the doors are closed and the path is unclear, and you're starting to wonder if you should give up, but you're not stuck, you're being shaped, you're not lost, you're being directed, you're not breaking, you're being rebuilt, you just can't see it yet. Life is preparing you for the moment your dream calls your name. But it won't call until you're ready. You must become stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than the voice inside you that keeps whispering that maybe it's not for you. Let me tell you something. That voice is not your future speaking. That voice is your comfort zone begging you to stay. That voice is your past trying to drag you back. That voice is your old identity fighting for survival, but you don't owe loyalty to the part of you that keeps you small. You don't owe loyalty to the version of yourself that's settled. You owe loyalty to the future version of you who wakes up every day thankful you never gave up. Picture that version of you. Really picture them. The confidence, the discipline, the freedom, the peace, the purpose. Picture them standing tall, looking back at you and saying, thank you for fighting, thank you for believing, thank you for not folding when life got heavy. Thank you for choosing growth over comfort. Thank you for choosing purpose over excuses. That version of you exists. But you will only meet them if you keep moving. Some of you think the dream is far away because you can't see evidence yet. You want results before effort. You want proof before commitment. But that's not how destiny works. Destiny requires blind steps. Steps where you walk without seeing the whole path. Steps where you trust the process even when the process feels painful. You must walk with faith, not fear, because fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Fear whispers, oh, you're not ready. But listen, you don't become ready before you start. You become ready by starting. You don't learn confidence by waiting. You learn confidence by failing, adjusting, improving. You don't become disciplined by thinking. You become disciplined by doing every day, whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference between dreamers and achievers. Dreamers want the feeling, achievers want the fight. Dreamers want the outcome, achievers want the obstacles because they know obstacles build strength. Dreamers wait for motivation. Achievers rely on discipline. Dreamers sleep peacefully because they're not demanding greatness from themselves. Achievers sleep later because they're too busy building something the world will never forget. You must choose, not once, every day. You choose who you become. You choose what you accept. You choose whether you use your time or waste it. You choose whether you repeat your excuses or rewrite your story. You choose whether you fall asleep or fall forward. And listen, discomfort is not your enemy. Comfort will make you soft. Comfort will make you lazy. Comfort will keep you in average places with average results, living an average life. Your dream cannot survive in comfort. It suffocates there. It needs challenge. It needs challenge. It needs pressure. It needs pressure. Diamonds don't form in comfort. They form under heat. So if your life feels heavy, good, that means something is forming, something is shifting, something inside you is growing. The struggle's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're trying, and trying means you're still in the fight. Trying means you haven't quit. Trying means you still believe there's something inside you worth fighting for, but belief is not enough. You must work. You must grind when the mood is gone. You must show up when the excitement fades. You must give effort when nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching, when nobody is posting your progress. Because that's where the transformation happens, in the shadows, not the spotlight. The world only sees the results. It never sees the war you fought to get there. The early mornings where you force yourself out of bed, the nights where you cried but kept pushing, the failures that broke you but didn't destroy you, the doubts you battled alone, the sacrifices nobody appreciated, the days where you dragged yourself through the storm just to move 1 inch forward. But that inch mattered, every inch mattered, every little step, every little sacrifice, every tiny moment of effort you gave when it felt pointless, that's what built the foundation of your future. Greatness is not one big moment, it's millions of small ones, small disciplines, small sacrifices, small commitments, small steps repeated daily. That's how mountains are built. That's how mountains are built. That's how dreams come alive. But here is where most people fail. They stop too soon. They stop when they're tired instead of when they're finished. They stop when results don't come fast enough. They stop when nobody cheers for them. They stop when the process feels boring or slow. They stop because they think success is supposed to feel magical. Success is not magic, it is math. Consistency plus discipline plus sacrifice equals results. Never instantly. Always eventually your harvest is guaranteed. If you don't quit, You don't need motivation every day. You need commitment every day. You don't need inspiration every hour. You need intention every hour. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need persistent action. And I want you to understand something deep. Your future self is counting on you. The life you want, the peace you want, the freedom you dream about, they all depend on the decisions you make today. Your future family depends on you. Your future opportunities depend on you. Your future success depends on you. You can change your entire life with one choice: to stop treating your dream like it's optional. When you upgrade your consistency, everything else upgrades with it. When you upgrade your discipline, your opportunities multiply. When you upgrade your mindset, your whole life follows. The world doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to work. Work when you don't feel like it. Work when you're tired. Work when the results are invisible. Work when the road is long. Work when the doubt is loud. Work until the dream becomes real, until the vision becomes physical, until the purpose becomes your lifestyle. And then something powerful happens. Life starts opening doors you didn't even know existed. People start recognizing your energy. Opportunities start finding you instead of you chasing them. Your confidence grows because you keep promises to yourself. You stop seeking validation because you become your own validation. You stop begging for motivation because discipline becomes your engine. And when you finally lay your head down at night, you don't fall asleep because you escaped your day. You fall asleep because you conquered it. That is the sleep success gives, the sleep of pace, the sleep of purpose, the sleep of someone who fought, who sacrificed, who stayed disciplined, who refused to fold when life pushed back, the sleep of someone who lived with intention, not regret. And that is the sleep waiting for you on the other side of discipline. But you have to decide, you have to choose, you have to act. Right now, not tomorrow, not a someday, right now, because nothing changes until you do. Nothing grows until you do. Nothing moves until you do. You are the switch. You are the key. You are the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want. So don't fall asleep on your greatness. Fall asleep on your accomplishments. Fall asleep on your effort. Fall asleep on your purpose. Fall asleep knowing you gave everything. Fall asleep proud, not ashamed. From this moment forward, let your days exhaust your excuses and elevate your growth. Let every sunrise find you hungry. Let every sunset find you grateful. Let every dream push you. Let every step shape you. Oh, let every night remind you that you are building something that will outlive you. Now go. Go fight for your life. Go earn the sleep success gives you. Go become the person your future self is praying you become. This is still your time. This is still your season. You're not done. You're just getting warmed up, and the world hasn't seen anything yet. Listen carefully. There comes a moment in every journey where you have to confront yourself in a way you never have before. A moment where the excuses you've repeated for years no longer work. A moment where the stories you've told yourself about why you're not where you should be finally collapse. A moment where your own reflection becomes your greatest teacher and your greatest challenge. And that moment is uncomfortable, it's painful, it's raw. Because it forces you to admit that the person you've been is not the person who can take you where you need to go. That moment is the turning point, the breaking point, the point life sets up to see if you really want what you say you want. Because talk is cheap, but transformation is expensive. And the currency is sacrifice. Part of growing means letting go of the identity that's holding you back. Letting go of the version of yourself that plays small. Letting go of the habits that keep you stuck. Letting go of the mindset that convinced you settling was okay. You can't walk into your bag, your past on your back. You can't hold your greatness if your hands are full of excuses. You can't rise while clinging to the very things weighing you down. And some of you know this. Deeply, you can feel the pull, the push, the wrestle inside you between your potential and your patterns. You want better, but you're attached to familiar. You want different, but you cling to comfortable. Understand this. Comfort is a silent killer of dreams. Familiarity is a cage that looks like safety, but steals your wings. You will never fly if you're afraid to leave the ground. There's a reason every great transformation starts with discomfort, because discomfort wakes you up. Discomfort shakes you out of autopilot. Discomfort forces you to confront your truth. Discomfort is the alarm clock your spirit keeps hitting snooze on. But the longer you avoid discomfort, the longer you avoid growth. The longer you escape discomfort, the longer you escape your destiny. You need discomfort because it's the only thing strong enough to break the old you. And please hear this. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not failing. You are forming. You are not stuck. You are being shaped. Growth feels like pain before it feels like power. Growth feels like chaos before it feels like clarity. Growth feels like endings before it feels like beginnings. The caterpillar doesn't know the cocoon is growth. It feels like loss, tightness, limitation, darkness. It thinks it's dying, but really it's transforming. Some of you think your life is falling apart, but it's just falling into place. Some of you think you're trapped, but you're being molded. Some of you think you're being punished, but you're being prepared. Preparation rarely feels like progress, and that's where people quit. That's where dreams die. Not because they're impossible, but because people misunderstand the process. They think slow progress means no progress. They think invisible results mean wasted effort. They think struggle means a stop instead of a strengthen. But the truth is this, the process is working on you while you're working through it. The process is creating endurance in you. The process is building resilience. The process is reinforcing habits. The process is removing weakness. The process is sharpening you for the opportunity you asked for. If you receive the blessing before you're ready, the blessing becomes a burden. Some of you keep praying for a level you're not prepared to handle yet. You want the spotlight without the self-discipline. You want the breakthrough without the backbone. You want the opportunity without the obedience to the process, but destiny doesn't rush. Destiny doesn't cut corners. Destiny prepares you before it elevates you, because destiny knows if you rise too fast, you fall even faster. You don't want success that collapses. You want success that sustains. Longevity requires foundation. Foundation requires consistency, requires discipline. Discipline requires sacrifice. Every step matters. The days you show up tired matter. The days you show up unmotivated matter. The days you show up alone matter. The days you show up uncertain matter. The days you show up discouraged matter. The days you show up after failure matter. The days you show up when nobody claps matter. Those are the days that define you, not the days when everything is easy. Not the days when you feel inspired, but the days where you drag yourself forward because you made a promise to your future self. Your future self is not begging you for perfection. Your future self is begging you for consistency. Is what separates dreamers from doers. Not talent, not luck, not background, not resources. Consistency. The grind you do in private becomes the greatness they applaud in public. Everybody wants the highlight, but nobody wants the hours. Everybody wants the rewards, but few are willing to endure the repetition. But repetition is the mother of mastery. Repetition is the birth of excellence. Repetition is the grind that transforms potential into power. You don't get extraordinary results with average effort. You must upgrade your standards, upgrade your habits, upgrade your circle, upgrade your mindset. You cannot rise with people who are committed to staying the same. If your circle doesn't push you, then your circle is pulling you. If your environment doesn't challenge you, it's settling you. If the forces around you don't empower you, they're limiting you. You must guard your energy, guard your ambition, guard your growth. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your future life does. And let's talk about failure for a moment, because too many of you fear it like it's your enemy. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Failure is the language of growth. Failure is the land where champions are built. Failure is a refinery that removes weakness and reveals strength. Every champion has scars. Every winner has wounds. Every success story has a chapter filled with pain, doubt, loss, fear, mistakes, and breakdown. But those chapters are the ones that make the ending powerful. Don't hide from failure. Learn from it. Use it. Let it humble you. Let it teach you. Let it fuel you. Let it strengthen you. The only real failure is quitting. Everything else is data. Everything else is development. You have survived too much to stop now. You have overcome too much to fold now. You have endured too many storms to surrender now. There is greatness in you that your struggle has been trying to introduce you to, but you have to keep going long enough to meet that version. You don't need to be perfect to continue. You just need to be willing to try again, willing to risk again, willing to dream again, willing to fight again, willing to rise again, willing to become again. Some of you don't need motivation, you need permission. Permission to believe in yourself again. Permission to chase your dream again. Permission to rebuild after setback. Permission to let go of the mistakes. Permission to rise without apology. Permission to outgrow people who don't grow with you. Permission to choose yourself. Permission to be great. Here is your permission. You are allowed to evolve. Stop shrinking your light to make others comfortable. Stop playing small because you fear being judged. Stop lowering your ambition to match people who lost their fire. Stop hiding your gifts because someone once made you doubt them. You are not here to be invisible. You are here to make impact. And impact doesn't happen by accident. It happens when purpose becomes louder than insecurity, when growth becomes louder than fear, when faith becomes louder than excuses. Faith is not what you feel. Faith is what you do. Faith is moving without seeing a full map. Faith is believing in a version of you you've never met yet. Faith is trusting that your effort will bear fruit even when the soil looks dry. And when you act in faith long enough, something powerful happens. Momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that carries you from discipline to desire, from effort to excellence, from doubt to confidence. Momentum is built day by day through small wins, small improvements, and once momentum hits, everything changes. Your confidence grows. Your vision sharpens. Your purpose strengthens. You wake up hungry instead of tired. You sleep peacefully instead of stress. You walk with authority instead of hesitation. That's what happens when you stop treating your dream as a wish and start treating it as an assignment. You have an assignment. Oh, a calling. A purpose that was placed inside you for a reason. You didn't choose your dream. Your dream chose you. It chose you because you are the one strong enough to carry it. You are the one built to manifest it. You are the one destined to birth it. But destiny requires delivery. Purpose requires pursuit. Calling requires commitment. You cannot sleepwalk through life and expect purpose to wake up. You must live with intention, live with awareness that every day matters, because it does. Every day is either moving you closer or further from the life you want. Every decision either feeds your growth or feeds your excuses. Every action either builds discipline or builds regret. Regret is the cost of comfort. Discipline is the cost of greatness. Choose wisely. And when you find yourself tired, truly tired, ask yourself, am I tired from the grind or tired from avoiding the grind? One kind of tired leads to growth, the other leads to guilt. One gives you strength, the other steals it. One helps you sleep with peace, the other keeps you awake with regret. Fall asleep because you earned it, not because you escaped your purpose. Fall asleep knowing you gave your all, that you didn't compromise, that you didn't settle, that you didn't run, that you didn't waste your gift. Fall asleep proud, not disappointed. Fall asleep fulfilled, not frustrated. Yeah. Fall asleep knowing you move forward, even 1 inch, because forward is forward. Understand this, you are not behind, you are not late. You are not lost. You are learning. You are growing. You are rising. You are becoming. You are evolving into the person you always meant to be. The journey is long, yes, but you are strong. The road is tough, yes, but so are you. The nights are lonely, yes, but you are never alone. Your future self is waiting, cheering, urging you not to quit. Don't quit, not now, not ever. You have come too far to return to who you used to be. You have fought too hard to retreat. You have survived too much to surrender. You owe it to your pain to turn it into power. You owe it to your struggle to turn it into strength. You owe it to your dream to turn it into reality. Keep going, keep believing, keep building, keep pushing, keep becoming, keep growing, keep chasing, keep fighting, keep showing up, keep choosing purpose over comfort, keep choosing discipline over excuses, keep choosing your future over your fear. And one day, sooner than you think, you will stand in a place you used to pray for. You will become the person you always knew you could be. You will live the life you once thought was impossible. You will inspire others through the journey you survived. You will realize every tear, every setback, every sleepless night, every doubt-filled moment was worth it, because it led you here to purpose, to power, to peace. Fall asleep knowing greatness is being built inside you. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not fading. You are rising, and the world hasn't seen your final form.